Good morning, everyone. It's Nat Wickham here again for Game of the Day, and it's just started off. I've got Sandra Milner with me in the commentary box. Hello, Sandra.
Hello, Nat.
So, in fourth age championships here in Hobart at the Hobart Aquatic Centre, and as you can see, the pool looks really nice and clear. Well done, Hobart Aquatic Centre. This is great. Makes it easier for commentary. And thanks everyone for joining us for the live stream. Sandra, you've been pretty busy. What's your role at this competition?
I've had two roles at this competition. I've been on the organising committee and I also happen to be the Australian team manager. So it's been a pretty busy time leading up to this.
Absolutely. Do you find, though, that it's eased off a little bit now the competition has started?
Yes, a lot of the organising now that we've had our gala opening ceremony last night. Now all we can do is sit here and play games, and I can watch games.
I'll ask you a bit more about the opening ceremony for the people that are watching at home, but just catch up with what's happening in the game here. We've got Argentina. This is their first, I don't think they were at the last World's Age Championships, and they're playing against South Africa, who finished, I think South Africa finished 5th in the last age championship. So it could be a really interesting game. We don't know. We've got the unknown of Argentina.
That's right. This is fabulous to see Argentina here with 3 teams and the first time they've ever come to an age group World Games. The Argentinians are very, very keen and very happy to be here, playing against one of the stalwarts of age group underwater hockey games, which is Republic of South Africa.
And it looks like we've just got a goal score. We'll see what the 3 refs agree upon here. I think, yes, we have. So it looks like Argentina have scored. First goal for them of the tournament.
And cap number 5, looks like he scored that goal.
Check. Need to hold this one nice and close to your mouth, Natalie.
Okay, so Argentina have got the first goal, which is fantastic. Okay, so the Argentinians don't have an under-19 girls team, but they've got the other 3 categories. Is that right?
That's right. They've got an under-19 boys and an under-23 women's and an under-23 men.
Fantastic, and they're always so passionate. You look at any opening ceremony, and they're the crew that makes the most noise. They're probably close to Colombians, I suppose.
I think if those people who've been on the Facebook from last night, before the opening ceremony, will see the Argentinians dancing, singing. It was a great thing to see.
And if they could, obviously put that much energy into their underwater hockey, and fantastic! What a great drive again. Looks like, oh no, we've got South Africans just equalising. It's good that they came back so quickly and so strongly. So number 13, Kobus from South Africa. And the opening ceremony last night, Sandra, was where we had 800. We had 800 people there, I hear. I didn't get to make it myself.
Yes, it would have been about 800 people in the hall last night. Lovely to see so many supporters coming along to cheer the teams on. But really, it's all about the teams, and they had a fabulous night. Parading on first, and we had a local Aboriginal man come and do some welcome dances and play the didgeridoo for us. It was a great night.
Oh, that's a really good, spectacular thing for all the other countries to see. It would have been really a proud moment. It looks like we just had an infringement against, was it against South Africa? I'm not sure, but gee, the skill levels of these under-19s is really good, Sandra. And it looks like the Africans are really keen to use the strength in a bit of a channel and just drive. So it'll be interesting to see how the Argentinians counteract that, whether they open it up or whether they try and play the same style back.
It will be interesting to see. The South Africans are often big, strong, muscular boys, and they use that to their advantage. The Argentinians, as I say, we haven't seen them before, so it'll be interesting over the comp to see what their style of play is.
Yeah, their coach, Pablo, I'm not sure what his history is, but gee, he'll be watching every minute of this game and thinking, well, what can they do to counteract the South Africans' aggressive style of play? So it's interesting to see how this one unfolds. And I'm sure we've got a lot of people in Argentina, well, I hope so, watching this live stream. And if you do have any comments or suggestions for us in the commentary crew or from the people on the cameras, please send a message. I just found out, Sandra, that I was calling the last game, and I thought, gee whiz, there's a whole team of left-handers. And it wasn't until a comment came in from someone back at home that said they think the cameras are flipped, so they're all actually right-handers. I thought we were breeding a new style of underwater hockey play.
Yes, it can get confusing with the cameras because it's the opposite from when you're actually sitting in the stands looking at the water. The cameras are flicked over the other way. So it does take a little bit of getting your mind set to the right way to work out which is how it should be.
Okay, so we just had a player actually sin-binned for an infringement, whether it's a 1 minute or a 2 minute kick out. We'll hope we'll get the name of that player so we can tell the families back home watching the streaming who it is that's having a little rest on the side. Oh, there we go. Can't quite see the number. We need him to... it looks like the captain, actually. But look, hopefully it's interesting when a team is a player down. Sometimes... So it looks like number 9, Dirk van Reenen, is out. Yeah, okay. It's interesting, though, when a team is down with just 5 players, sometimes they tend to lift. And as what is happening now, the Africans are really pushing it up, really taking it up into the goals.
Yes, it's just that determination, I think, that comes when you know you're one down and you've really got to work hard. Same, I think, when you have sick players. Often the younger players will really, really lift to make up that gap.
And I think you're alluding to the last game, Sandra, where the New Zealanders were coming up against the under-19 boys, coming up against the Australians. The New Zealanders finished first last competition, Australians finished sixth, and it was a 2-1 scoreline. And Australia had 2 of their best players, or 2 of their more experienced players sitting out.
Yes, certainly Australia had both their captain and vice-captain, who unfortunately are very sick, out, and the rest of the team really lifted to cover them.
And you find during these competitions, because of the long lead-up, you will get players that their immune system might be a little bit, down, and they do pick up things. And it's just how the coach manages that, isn't it?
It is. It really is a challenge, particularly playing in the Australian winter when there are viruses around. But it's all part of managing the lead up and even during the comp.
Okay, so look, it's a really exciting game. Argentina, wow, taking it to them, 2-1 to the South Africans. Maybe that is in part due to the fact that South Africans had a player sitting out. So another African player out for 2 minutes. Gee, the coach will really need to look at that, because you can't afford to have, be a player down. It's a lot of pressure on the 5 that are still in the water.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yes, I'm personally finding this a surprising game. I'm amazed the Argentinians are doing really, really well, and I think they, as a whole group, may surprise a lot of us this competition.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, how much of that first game kind of heart and nerves, let's see if they can carry it through the competition and can keep that momentum going. You'd expect the South Africans to be one of the strongest teams here at the competition based on, the history of the age championships. But look, a lot happens in the space of 2 years or a year.
Well, certainly back in the very first underwater hockey age group games in Dordrecht in 2011, South African under-19 boys won gold medals. And yes, they always are one of the stronger teams to come away in all the divisions.
You're very lucky, Sandra, to be part of the whole, the last, 3 plus this one, 4 age championships. That's been a big journey, and it's a big achievement.
It certainly has been a big journey for me. Back in 2011, Australia could only field an under-19 men's team. We took the only 12 players in Australia who could go, and we all had a wonderful time, and the boys played well, coming in 4th, but coming home and then talking to their friends, their other underwater hockey players, and now Australia is consistently having 4 teams, 1 in each division. So yes, and this has happened with the other countries as well. It's growing all the time, and it's great to see.
No, terrific. And if we go just back to the game, obviously there's a time out here called by the coaches because again another throw out. I think 2 minutes for number 7, I believe. Federico from Argentina. It must be pretty tight in there. I mean, you do find in the boys' games you get a few more throw-outs. So the last couple of the girls' games that I've refed have been really open. It's been fantastic. But yeah, the boys tend to bring a different, a bit tighter and a little bit more. They put a bit more pressure in those situations, and you'll get those fouls happening. But you've got to manage that as a coach, and the players need to make sure they're doing the right thing so they can be in the water rather than sitting on the bench.
Oh, there they go. Oh, I was noting that the South Africans actually had 5 in their sub-bench, but one's come out now, so they've got the right number in the court.
Yeah, and well defended by another infringement, a break. So the Americans were defending there, and one of them's broken before the refs have started it. So it'll be South African putt right in front of goals. So interesting to see if they can convert this. Good if we can have the camera under the water there so we can just see what's happening. Well, obviously, the Americans have defended that, so good effort. Just a little, blind spot with the camera, so just bear with us. We'll get that back online, no problems. And a good day here in Hobart today, Sandra.
It's a beautiful day in Hobart, but today not near as cold as it was yesterday, which is nice to see.
Just a light cloud cover. It tends to keep it just that little bit milder, even though it says 13 degrees. There's no wind chill out there. It's a good day to be sightseeing, looking around beautiful Hobart, getting down to the historical area, having a nice lunch out to North Hobart. Everything's within walking distance. We're really lucky here.
Well, that's right. The teams, after they've played their game, they could easily get round and see things without having to tire themselves out or really even get into any transport. They can just walk. So, yes, we're very lucky here in Hobart to have all the facilities of a major city, but in a very small, contained area.
Yeah, if you haven't been, I'd be saying come along, come and stay. There's lots to do, and like Sandra said, it's all really accessible and quite close. Now, big drive, good defence. It's
very
right
close
on the edge of the tray there. This American that's been down, I think he's been down for the whole push there. Oh, sorry, Argentinian. Third game, Sandra, starting to get a bit. No, well done, Argentinians. They've really successfully cleared that push by the Africans. Holding it there just to get regrouped, and it's right near their sub-bench. Another player out for a minute, an Argentinian player. Gee, they need to use this wisely. I think as the coach should be pulling some of the more experienced players in from the sub-bench, making sure you've got your best combination in there. So we've got 5 in the sub-bench at the moment. They should only have 4. I think they've only got 3 players in the water, so I'm not quite sure what's happening here. We'll just see what plays out. Okay, looks like a timeout again. So to be the other team's timeout, they're entitled to 1 timeout per team each half, so a total of 4 during the game, which adds an extra 4 minutes onto that time. But it is a good time to regroup because, as you know, we were talking before, it's a bit hard for the coach during play to give instructions to their players being underwater. So these timeouts are really, really important, and they can change the direction of a game.
Yes, they can be very strategically managed, the timeouts, just at that time when your players need to have a breather and get themselves into position. They're very handy.
Now, hopefully we'll get an underwater shot here. Oh, here we go. All on the bottom. A really big... I'd be surprised if they're not pulled up for breaking there. That was such a quick reaction to the puck being taken.
Oh,
and
so close.
It's really close. The ref's really down there to try and...
they've cleared it.
They have.
Well,
usually this is when you get gloving. So someone was gloving out along the wall. So again, South Africans get another bite at the cherry. Let's see what they can do. Okay, on the bottom. You've got to be careful not to to obstruct here. And the Argentinians again. He's dropped his shoulder. See what the referees decide here, because you've got to allow their access to the puck. It swung right round, and the Africans can capitalise.
Oh,
so
it's
they
a goal.
have.
It's a goal.
What a goal!
Number 9.
And we can actually hear in the commentary box, we're quite away. We're a fair way away from this court, but we can hear the crowd giving a good cheer. So they've got some good amount of supporters here for them.
Yes, it's very good to see the number of supporters who have travelled all the way to Australia to support. South Africa have quite a large contingent of supporters here. The Americans have a huge number of supporters here. I'm not sure if there's many Argentinians, but certainly some of the local Argentinians who live in Hobart, and some who have come down from Melbourne are here to support their teams.
Fantastic. And I was saying, Sandra, your team organised the supporters shirts, so we've got the Aussie supporters all don their Australian green, and look, we've got a really fast bit of play there, and the South Africans have scored, and it was a really quick drive. And so we've got our player back in the water, so it's now 6-on-6 again, which is good. So 2-3. This is a really, we're only in the first half, so it's obvious that the teams are trying to get to know each other's style of play. They're trying to work out their own style and get everything, all the crinkles ironed out. And it must be very similar to have a score of 2-3, still in the first half.
Yes, that's right. It was interesting to see that really fast, hard drive. This is something that the South Africans do, and the New Zealanders do it very well too, is score a goal, or even the other team score a goal, and they come out hard and fast and just drive it down straight through the middle before the other team has time to react.
Yeah.
I've seen it again and again.
Yeah, saw that in the under-19 girls earlier, and they came off with a win this morning. They were some, strong, fast players that just use that middle part of the court, which is good. Sometimes that can work against you because the opposition can spill it wide and go round your team, but it seems to be working at the moment.
Well, I think it's a surprise factor. I think it's the fact they do it so fast is where they get away with it. But yes, it's just an interesting way the different countries play.
Yeah, it is, and it looks like the Argentinians have got it up there again.
They'll be keen to equalise this now.
And with only 14 seconds, I think we're looking at.
I think we're at half-time now.
So we're half-time. All right, so what have we got on, Sandra? We've had the big opening ceremony, which went off without a hitch, I take it. But it would have been. It's such a big thing to organise. And apparently the youngest girl of the competition read the player's oath, am I right?
Well, what we do with the player's oath is we actually have 3 players read it. We had young Justin from the United States of America, who is only 13 years old and playing in the under-19 men's division. He read the oath in English. We had Emmy Nadeau from Canada, who I believe is also 13, and her native language is French, and she read the oath in French. And I'm sorry, but I can't remember the name of the young Colombian girl, and she read, once again, 13 years old, and read the oath in Spanish. So just amazing to see these young players here. I'm personally really, really excited that teams, if players are good enough, teams will bring them even at a young age. It disappoints me when certain countries feel that unless a player is 18, 19, they won't bring them.
No, exactly right. And those players bring something to the team. I mean, you're mentoring them early, and you're setting yourself up for a really good, pathway into the under-23s and so on. And just with the Canadian girls, 8 have only come over, and these girls are all young, but they've had 6 years' experience. So they, again, must have been playing when they were 13, and they're here.
Yes,
they're here,
yes.
And they're doing it, for Canada. If people, it would have been the parents of those 13-year-olds that did the player's oath. That's amazing. They must be so proud. And a lot of them aren't here to watch them. How can they see? Can they see any photos or anything?
Well, we were lucky because last night we had a volunteer from Basketball Tasmania who is a professional professional photographer, and he has filmed the whole event, and he's also commentated, and it's just been put together now, and we'll be putting that up on YouTube. So all over the world, people will be able to see the whole opening ceremony with commentary. It's just being put together at this very moment.
That's fantastic. You must have such a huge crew of volunteers. I mean, they're the backbone of any sport. We all know that, from grassroots level right through to the elite. So we're lucky here in Hobart, and I'd hope that all other countries have that kind of level of support.
We are lucky in Hobart. We have we have a large underwater hockey community, but we also have a very, very supportive parents and friends community as well. And as I say, the man who did the filming for us last night, he has no association with underwater hockey, but he has a friend who plays underwater hockey, so he came along and he did this for nothing for us, and we're really appreciative of that.
Fantastic. All right, so we're into the second half. I'd love to have been a fly on the wall to hear what the coaches were saying with their teams. Having you'd hope that it was all positives. You really want to pump the tyres up of these young boys. They do. They need it, and you don't want to be telling what they're doing wrong. You want to be telling what they're doing right, and that'll get them doing the right thing, and the rest takes care of itself.
Yes, I always feel it must be a very delicate balance for coaches, because obviously people need to learn and they need to know what mistakes they made and how they can improve next time. But on the other hand, you're right, negative comments are not really constructive. It's really, really pumping the players up.
You leave that to the blackboard session afterwards, so they've got time to go and think about it. So we're 13 minutes to go. It's 2-3. What a great game. It'd be interesting to see if it kind of shuts down a little bit now. That's a high level of scoring. 5 goals in the first half, between the two teams. So we've got a break. Look at this. Someone's away, and he is right ahead. That South African was really taking it to the back wall, and it looks. Oh my goodness!
Very, very close.
And it was a curl, and it's in. When you get that breakaway anywhere on the back wall, where you want to be, because once you get it up there, it's then your whole team can regroup and you can get it into those goals.
That was Simeon Jost. Africa scored that goal.
Okay, so we're already, both teams have got a timeout now they can use at any time, and I've been really curious to see when they're going to use them. Gee, that centre's fast, Sandra, and strong.
He is, isn't he? He's getting to that puck a long way before the Argentinian centre.
Yeah, sometimes that, it depends what they do with it after they get there. Sometimes they can actually just launch it and the opposition gets possession and it can work against them, but he's really strong. It makes the big dolphin kick, though. You lose a bit of manoeuvrability with that one, but it's working for him. And look at this, one after the other. But well done, Argentina.
Yes, Argentina is still fighting. South Africa is coming out big and strong now, and they're using their strength and they're using their numbers. But Argentina is still fighting. I believe this is a penalty against South Africa, so that will give the Argentinians a bit of breathing space.
Yeah, it was interesting, the game previous to this one, Sandra. The United States girls, this is their first Worlds as well. Off these frees, they were bringing it across just like the Argentinians have done. Not afraid to kind of bring it into the danger zone, which makes me a bit worried, I'm a bit nervous. But look, it's paid off. Oh, well. And this is where you have to really watch for infringements and gloving, stick fouls. It's gone across the tray at the other side, but they're very good at curling it and sweeping it back through the middle, which is hard to defend. So we've got a bit of chopping, and it's a 2-on-1. Okay. So here we go. We'll have one defender from Argentina and 2 attackers from South Africa. Everyone else has to get right out of the playing court, at the area. And the refs will set that up out off the goals.
These 2-on-1s are very, very hard to defend. But let's see how the young Argentinian goes.
Here we go. And he can spring off the wall now as soon as the puck's touched. And look at that. Yeah, it's obviously it's for the advantage of that attacking team. So the poor old defender is a disadvantage, but it is possible to defend them.
And that was number 2, Simeon Jose again. Hopefully that's how you pronounce his surname. I apologise to his parents if it's not.
Well, they can always send us a message from the live stream.
Hang on.
Okay, so we just had a kick out, which is whether that happened before the penalty or during the penalty. Number 3, is that right? Yes, so we've got number 3, Ryan Van Zyl. He's been kicked out for the next 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah, so that's interesting. So we're 2-4. I think Argentinians need to capitalise on this. With 5 players against 6, 6 against 5. We've got to find that gap. So the Argentinians want to win this strike. They really do. They want to get it and get it straight into the onto the defence to the Africans. And it looks like we've called a ref's timeout or a team timeout. But a ref there is calling a timeout. It looks like a ref's timeout. So Simon there is the deck ref, and he'll be the adjudicator here and just work out what's going to happen. I saw a call for unsportsmanlike behaviour there from one of the refs.
I'm really not sure when this has all happened. This is interesting. It looks like the refs have said no goal for the last goal.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, the score has gone back to 2-4.
Okay, so it's just back to both teams on the end. Oh, gee, that was a quick start. It would have caught them short. But like we said, there's 6 Argentinians against 5 South Africans. They really need to come out hard. You've got to capitalise on these kind of that little bit of uncertainty. You've just got to get your head back, focused on the game, and go out hard. And as you'll notice, it'll be interesting to see which team starts to open it up. Because they'll be, you're always a bit cautious of taking a risk and going out on your own. So they're just pushing it straight down the line, keeping that pressure on, and then they'll work it back along the back wall.
A lot of anxious Argentinian and South African supporters sitting up there in the stands.
And Sandra, is this competition for the under-19 boys? Is this a double round robin like the girls?
No. We actually have 9 teams of under-19 boys here, so they'll play a single round robin. And it's great to see so many teams of under-19 boys.
Yeah, so there's seven teams for the girls. They get to play a double round robin. Gee, they're going to have that's a tough ask, isn't it?
It is a big ask, and I've actually had a couple of the teams.
Oh, look, we've got a breakaway from the Argentinian. Come on. Look at that South African Mike running down. Oh, gee whiz. Oh, I hope he's got some support. Oh, he did. Second effort. That is a mammoth effort. He stayed down there and reached back, curled it round, and got the goal with 2 South Africans on him. Oh, you'd have to be pretty pleased with that one. And who have we got there? Federico. Oh, look, I think he needs a bit of a break now. I hope he's in the sub bench just catching his breath.
That was a lovely run, a really, really lovely run. Probably 3/4 of the way of the pool, I reckon. He ran with a very large South African chasing him.
And even though he muffed the flick at the end, his mates won't let him live that one down. He stayed down and put it away, even with his lungs would have been bursting. Okay, and they've come out really hard again, straight onto the putt.
Yes, this is interesting. In the first half, the South Africans were winning that strike, but the last 2 times the Argentinians are straight onto it.
And a big drive, so this is where they've got to capitalise. This could even the scores. So so they got it right up there straight away, which is fantastic. I'm just wondering if the last player, the player that was sin binned earlier, he'd be just about ready to get back in the water. So well done, Argentina, capitalising on that. And this coach of the South African team will have to have a little think about that. You don't want players sitting on the bench. So they're pushing it across. It is very close, and I think.
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Looks like they've got it out.
They've cleared it out, that was really tight. So you're seeing a lot of, they really want to keep possession. You're seeing a lot of good curls and a lot of regrouping, second waves of players coming through. Great defence by the South Africans, though they're all in reverse tackles there. You need someone going forward. That's, you don't want to be playing too defensively. You do need some people attacking. And the game now is over near the sub-bench, so we'll be seeing, another player out. We should be seeing some fresh players coming in.
They're calling for one of the Argentinians out. I think number 1.
Okay. Well, let's see if the South Africans can. See if the South Africans can regroup. What a timeout. Yeah, so they want to they don't want the score to be 3-4 at the end. The Africans want to really stamp their authority here. First game of the round. Still plenty more games to go, and they want their opposition to see that they're a force to be reckoned with, for sure. So Sandra, how many competitors have we got altogether here in Hobart for this championships?
That's a very good question.
I've heard 400 somewhere bandied around.
I think there's a little bit more than 400. Yeah.
So with your supporters and your players,
there'd be well over 500 with
fantastic.
supporters and players. Because as far as I know, every single American under 19 player has at least one parent here. And there's a very large contingent from New Zealand. We've obviously got people flying in from all over Australia. As I say, there's been some people from France come in, and also a very large delegate from of French people who actually live in Australia have come down specifically for this competition.
Right, terrific. So the Africans don't mind pushing it up the wall. They've done that a few times where they'll go to any place on that back wall, attack, and then drive it along the wall. And I just saw the Colombian, he was one Argentinian on the corner of the tray trying to defend 2 or 3 big South Africans coming through, and they got it through in the end. It's not pretty hockey, but look, if it gets the goals, then anyways, effective, I suppose. So 6 minutes to go.
South Africans have another goal, so now it's 3-5.
Yep, and the Argentinians, they still have another timeout they can call and they can use. So, refs have called something there. A little bit of obstruction. Okay, so it's against Argentina. So let's put it up in the back in the Argentinians' defence, and it's right in the middle of the pool. So the Africans will straight line it. There we go. They'll keep it within their zone, do a curl and reset. Keeping on, he'll curl again, look for his players, and then they'll start to centre it into the middle. And that makes it hard for the Argentinians to get possession. But that's what they've got to do. They've got to pull it out and get it away from that line of momentum. And it's worked. The Africans have scored again.
Number 3, and that will be Ryan Van.
We hope that's right. Oh, the fans. Yeah, so any feedback from people that are listening in Argentina, South Africa, or anywhere else around the world, that would be really good, because we just want to make this as relevant and interesting, to help. We want to help the nans and aunties and uncles understand the game, but also for fans of underwater hockey to get exactly what they want from the commentary and the filming. So please, comments are welcome.
So the South Africans are pushing it back down the wall again towards their goal. there go the Argentinians.
And again, it's right near. It really gets really interesting when it's near the sub bench. It can work against you. Some teams, if you're playing underneath your opposition sub bench, they can be just rotating fresh players in. So sometimes it's good to pull it out and take it to the other side. Because there you go. So they're taking it, opening it up. Whether they can keep possession, it looks like South Africa have just regained possession. Ooh. I think there's some tired legs. The initial adrenaline has worn off, Sandra, and you get that lactic. Got another player out. These refs, good job, refs. And the refs, they do a fantastic job. It's really important to have this consistent reffing that just doesn't let the game get away from them, and they keep it fair.
Yes, the competition really has been trying to improve the level of reffing, the consistency of reffing. To be a ref at this competition, you need to be registered and you actually need to be, I'll say, accredited by CMAS. So this is not a competition for development of the junior referees. This really is a competition where your referees who have had experience already reffing at national competitions are here to do the reffing. And hopefully this will see a much better standard of reffing than from previous competitions. We also have a rule that all referees who come to represent their country are actually from that country of origin, which is good to see referees from every country who is here.
And fantastic. So, but are they allowed to ref games? So just say we have Simon from Australia. Is he allowed to ref an Australian game, or at this level doesn't really matter?
This is actually a very interesting and possibly contentious point. From the referee's point of view, they feel that they are impartial. They feel that they are not here as an Australian or a New Zealander. They feel they are here as a referee. And because of that, you'll notice that the referees have no signage on them saying what country they're from. They are simply referees. There is, however, a feeling still that by perhaps players, by supporters, that a referee may be even subconsciously biased if they are reffing a game from where their own country is playing. And so, to the best of our ability, we do not have refs from the same country that is playing.
And that actually puts the ref at ease as well. You don't want that kind of commentary going on about your ability as a ref. For the finals, how do they choose those refs for the finals? So is it done on like a rating system?
Yes, well, what's happening here, also so that we can improve the quality of refereeing, is all referees are divided into groups, and within that group you will have an overseeing ref who is a very highly experienced ref, level 3 staff for referees, and then you will have experienced referees, and then you will have the referees who are here for the first time. And this gives a mentoring role for those more experienced referees, but the most experienced ref in each group, they will be ranking their referees, and at the end of the comp, the overseeing referees and Angus Sinclair, who is the chief ref for the competition, will get together. They will be looking at who is refereeing right at the very, very highest level, and they will be the ones refereeing the finals.
Oh, fantastic system, really is. And look, we've just had a big drive from the Africans. They've just taken it from their defensive corner diagonally across the full length of the pool and attacked from the diagonally opposite corner into the goals. So 3-7. It's a pretty good margin for the Africans with only around a minute to go. I think the Argentinians, they really want to come out hard off this strike. You don't want the game to get too far away from you.
Yes, honest, even with only 40 seconds to go, they still need to fight, I think, as much as anything for their for how they will feel at the end of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they've got another 2 games probably another game today. Every game's so different, but you want to be getting it right for the whole game. You don't want to give anything. And they are. Look, they're really pushing, keeping good possession. 30 minutes, it might not sound like very much when you compare it to AFL or soccer, but I tell you, 30 minutes seems like a lifetime when you're holding your breath. So it's just about time. We'll see if we can get one of the players for an interview. It looks like that's
full
right.
time.
Look, Sandra, thanks so much for coming and being part of the commentary crew. You have such a wealth of knowledge, and you have to have you back again. So excellent. Thank you.
Nat.
So I'm going to see if I can grab one of these players for